everybody, Krista Androvich here. I just wanted to give a heads up for cabin leaders on what to expect from the registration process. I know you're going to rush trying to get all of your kids in and get things settled. We are going to do our best to try to check in your students prior to the 3 o'clock opening time. This is going to be easiest for us to handle if you are pre-registered and prepaid completely for your students. So I would say if that is something that you want to make as smooth as possible, try to make sure that if you've paid a deposit that you can, if you talk to me or see what you need to do, mail in the check ahead of time if you need to get that payment in for the final payment before we arrive at camp, because that does make it much simpler and smoother for us to check your child on through and get them into the process quickly so that they can get where you're needed. You will need to be at the cabins as quickly as possible so that you are ready to welcome students who are coming in. We will have a pre-list for you just to give you who's expected to be in your cabin. Don't hold that in stone because that is something that can still change. As campers are coming in, especially as we get walk-ons coming in through the registration process, things will get moved around. I have accidentally had a girl with a very boy-sounding name in the wrong place before. So we obviously are going to make sure that you're getting the correct students in the correct places where they need to be. Sometimes we can have students mislabeled between junior or teen, possibly, so we might need to make some switches and flips around just to make sure that we get everybody in their space. But we will have a list of who you can expect, but once everything kind of settles out, we're going to need to know this is a list of everyone that you do have specifically in your cabin, and we will be cross-checking those with the head dorm leaders to make sure that we have every student accounted for and where they're supposed to be. The main thing you're going to be looking for as students come in is you're going to be watching for this little sheet. This check sheet is going to have your campers' names on here, and it's also going to have little boxes where they have signed off on each station of the registration, so we know that they have checked in properly. You need to see initials in those boxes so that we know that they have checked where they're supposed to be and everybody has done what they're supposed to do. We do have some students who will come through with medications. If you have a student who manages to get past there and they didn't drop off their medications, the nurse is probably going to say something to them as they come through, letting them know they have to do it. Sometimes we have students who arrive and those medications they need are packed in their suitcase. So they may need to come into the room, get that stuff out, and you're going to need to make sure you send somebody back over with them to make sure those are getting dropped off. No medications are to be allowed in the cabins, and that would include yours because we don't want any chance for anybody to accidentally overdose on something. And if they can get a hold of medication in your bag, that might be where it would happen. So we want to make sure that all of our campers are safe, so we do ask that you help us with that process. So once you receive all of your campers in, you can collect these little sheets and just hold on to them. You want to make your list for all of your students that are in your cabin. Make sure you're filling that out on that preferred or perfected camper list, I believe is what it's called. So you're going to fill those out in there and get those back to your head dorm leaders. That evening, if possible, is going to be the best for us just so we can get those lists reprinted. I'll type them out and everybody will be getting the sheet list for boys and girls cabins, especially for the nurses and those who are in leadership positions so they know where to find people. So your help with that is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, and we're excited to have you at camp.